Good evening, good day, and good night. I figured I wanted to jump in here tonight and get a couple of things that's been actually coming down through you guys. You know, maybe go into a lot of reflection and even just for this moment, just to be in this moment in time of this day right now. You know, it's dark in the sky over here, but this is the actual time in which, without all these city lights and everything, which where we would actually go out and actually read the sky, read the sky, whether it's a curtain and or slash whatever, you know, but read the sky and everything and see the shooting stars and feel the rue or the quietness that may encompass us to even give more thought to and even or feel more of our ancestors or just nature itself growing right now, growing, you know, and yeah, without the well, actually is it's actually in the reflection of the sun, from what we're told and everything. Hey, it's the reflection of the sun underneath the moon and everything. You know what I'm saying? The night and everything. It's going down. Tonight we have a waning gibbous moon, but tomorrow actually is going to be the waning gibbous moon at 54%. I believe it's at 65, no, 40, 45 for tonight. 222 on the clock. And we are 7 days out of the Taurus full moon, which was actually one of the bigger themes about that moon was releasing, you know, releasing under the Taurus moon and everything, you know. Uh, and Taurus is about, Earth and even finances. And a lot of times we have to go ahead and hey, release things in order for things to grow. Because if you hoard it and everything, then and only it's good to make, of course, right decisions and everything with the monetaries, the currency, you know, the currency and everything, which is should come from your spiritual currency, our spiritual currency, in order to go ahead and uh, create the currency that we operate with right now, whether it be gold, silver, or fiat, you know, and even share those things, even as we're gaining them, even share them, you know. I did this too with the family. Everybody has done this, I'm sure, with your family and everything. They need something this or what have you not, and even at a certain point in time, I even you know uh, sought because things weren't necessarily going so well, you know, with that exchange of currency. It didn't even have to be actual money, but just vibes, currency. You know, then I sought to go ahead and even utilize some of that money to even help somebody that maybe needed it. You know, and one of the couple of people actually and both of them, I'm gonna tell you straight off the top and everything. Both of them end up being frauds. You know, but one was this dude Carlos Berrioso. He was in New York. He said I talked to him on the phone, Facebook. He staged himself up in the hospital and everything. Long story short, I ended up sending him clothes that he said he needed, buying a phone, and I think $500 on top of that. So about a rack to him and everything. Then there was this brother over in African country. I want to say close to uh, West Africa for sure. Because practicing Ifa, and he said he was a priest, and he showed the hole in his house and everything. And that was just a shack and everything, which had people inside of there. But he said he needed some food and everything, so I sent him like $400 something dollars. And come to find out, hey, he has a big palace and everything. So for the ashe ashe, so even learning though, so I'm only stating that and everything because like I said, whether it be spiritual currency and or slash uh, actual physical currency to which you want to help, you know, and we're still to do that. We just got to be a more cautious than I was. All right, more cautious than I was, and but anyway, so yeah, this is what it's kind of like bringing it back right now, and we're 7 days out. We are one rainbow out of the Taurus re- release, releasing things that do no longer serve us. Also, and we don't. And inside of that release, we have the first, to breaking it down. It's a lease. It's a lease. Within that lease, you have Leah, which means law. Okay, Leah was also one of the daughters, in which Jacob, she was the oldest daughter, and Rachel was the younger. So, you know, uh, Laban, which means white, uh, her father went ahead and tricked Jacob because underneath their customs, they had to marry the first daughter first. You know, and so he went ahead and went ahead and started to go ahead to and work for. Sorry, wanted to marry Rachel, but like I said, he tricked him. Or as we know, he tricked him in order to go ahead and complete their law. You know, and so he went ahead and worked for him. He married Leigh, okay, and this is where the whole word comes in because release this that re is the son. Okay, so Leah or Leigh, she birthed a son. All right, and in that son, and release, okay, re is Ray, Leah, and then say is the water, the ocean. So that even though and say actually, if we go ahead and look at the word correctly, say is at the end, so that's the water. Okay, and because of this, the karmic, I mean not karmic, but physiological laws of our body, that's how we produce, and whether it become a son or a daughter, if we read it right to left, it's all in motion. It's all in motion. All right, but we're talking about in the English, we're talking about release, in meaning to let go. But we don't want to necessarily sign a lease again, knowingly or unknowingly, that we've signed before, to be stuck inside of any type of cycles or people coming in, stealing your currency. Okay, your energy, your power, your monetary, your whole identity. You know, we don't want to go ahead and those type of relationships and acquaintances we would like to go ahead and depart from. You know, so yeah, these 7 days, we're 7 days out. We had it on the 5th. Today is actually the 10th. It's really actually the 11th because the sundown is actually starts the 11th day. We're already in the 11th. Whether we believe it and know it or not, we're already there. And so that rainbow also goes back to, seven, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. You don't have to hit the do again, but that's the music, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Okay. And it also starts with that of that fire and that passion, as we're, that in order to make the baby, it has to have that passion and everything, right? And so that fire, that sexual fire and every energy and everything, you know, not Phoenix. It had to be Phoenix and everything. It'd be a slow blue, you know. And then we can get, it's going to go up and down. It's going to go up and down. but but we start that out also with the DNA to make the the DNA, and that DNA, the sequence in that is uh, ATGC. That's what the sequence of the DNA is. You know what I'm saying? And so, and this is also dealing with the zodiac house. That is Aries, Taurus, which we just talked about, the Taurus moon. We have the fire of Aries, the Earth, which we're talking about the body, right? And we're talking about Gemini. Now we have two minds. What two minds? The two souls that came together in order to create it. Okay. Then we have Cancer, and that right there is back to the today is Monday, Moon Day. Okay, and this is under the moon, in which Cancer sends out these waves and everything, and and we're talking about to the water. So we're going to slip all the way down to the last zodiac house of Pisces for that, because Pisces, now they do stay in tarot, and we'll talk about that a little bit too. In tarot, Pisces and Cancer is that of the moon, but we have all different, Arthur Edward Waite, we have the GD Golden Dawn, we had all the people that put together these tarot cards. They were different, even matter of fact, was I remember 111 Rose, Mystic Rose, I believe it was. She said, "Hey, I don't think Aries should be the emperor. I think Capricorn should be the emperor, and Aries should be the devil." Okay, and I actually read that also instead of read it today. You know what I'm saying? And we also have that of so also talking about that, as we're talking about that, with that of Cancer and Pisces sharing the moon. Pisces planetary is actually Neptune, which is an illusion, which is like the moon, but the actual the waves and everything is actually going to be sent down with Cancer, the mother. Okay, and so, but where Pisces comes in under the and Pisces in the moon sense is that of the water, where the fish. It's logical, and it is not just a surface thing. There, it's the sub. It's deeper. The sub. As we go even inside the Vava, there, we got to go deep in order to plant the seed, and then they swim upstream and everything, fighting. Who's going to come out first? Who's going, to get here and everything? And so, you got to be a deep water diver. And plant that seed. You know, and so those are the kind of like correlations and everything in which uh, the medium of tarot is just that. It's a medium, and then we have different channels, different channels and everything. Now, whether that channel be through CCTV, or you actually get it from your ancestors, and or from yourself, you get all of those things. Will has a place and a time for, you know, and however we utilize it is going to be up to us, you know. So yeah, so even inside of the musical sequence of things, this the rainbow, whether it be, let's go back to the rainbow first, because inside the rainbow we have the acronym of Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Well, the fourth one down is red, orange, yellow, green. And green, believe it or not, as this green earth is the actual first color of the sun, which we do not see. We see it only at the when the sun is going down, and then when it's raising up on the other side. You know, and so now the little never mind. Let me move on over here. I have my notes over here, but this little neighbor want to open up his door now, and then want to get in the background with his little laugh. So we're gonna go over here and continue on a little bit more. I guess he want to get in, get his laugh in on the program on a program here. But anyways, so yeah, the sun is actually green, the green sun, you know, and so but we don't see it. We only see it as white. It's one of the first colors. It's one of the first colors unless we see it early coming over the sunrise and before it sets. All right. I did not know this either, but it dawned on me. Something told me to go ahead and look at, the sun, because if everything is just reflection off of the water, and when we reflect the sun hits the water, we see all kinds of kaleidoscope of colors. Then it's only natural to where we would actually see it, But I didn't know where, so I went there, and that's what I found out today. And so when we get to the musical, the seven notes of the music and everything, we have what? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, right? I mean, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. So back to the same, it's a birthing process again. As a doe is like a female deer, doe, young, you know? Do, re is back to the sun. Okay? Back to the sun. Do, re, and what does it produce? It produces you, and it produces me. Do, re, mi. All right? Then we have do, re, mi, fa, sol. So we have soul again. Soul again. All right? And that's the six and the one. So the sixth day, man was created, right? Or woman was created, right? But yet everyone is one. All right? So that fa for this do, re, mi, fa, sol. Back to the sun again. Then we got do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. La, ti is actually, if we read it right to left, it's going to be the first four letters of the language of Italian, Italy. And in Italy, the sun is called soul. So even that last part has a soul again. So even within the letters or the music, uh, 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 notes of do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and so that do again is at the end, is ready to create again. We've finished a sequence of currency, a vibration, you know, and we can go ahead and build on top of that, you know. Again, whether it be firstly spiritual currency, and then secondly that of physical currency and everything, which we are utilizing right now to go ahead and exchange for work and buy food on up on the earth right now. So all this right here, uh, I also saw that with the sun, which is Uti, okay, and actually in a Sumerian, you know, and then Hebrew is Shemesh, okay. The sun was also stood for that of justice, all right, stood for that of justice, and then even in that of Egypt with Amun Re, okay, or Amun Ra. Ra is the sun, right? Amun means hidden, hidden. So even as the sun is supposedly up, now they tell us the sun is uh, on the other side of the world, but we know we have a few more suns and everything. We have quite a few suns. I don't know if you've checked the suns that they saw the reflections in of, or even their China. You know, you look it up yourself. I think I've put it up there more than a couple of times. You know, and like I said, whether it be how we look at it, whether it be, you know, we look at it as simply one sun, or we look at it as many suns. And we can do that. Why? Because of religions, which is actually again Ray. There is no all the sun, all religions has a sun god. Okay? And when we break down that, so we have legions. Legions. Okay? So Jesus, the story of Jesus, there's a inside of the story of Jesus, there's a time in there to where a, a young boy was afflicted and everything because he had so many demons or what have you inside of him and everything, you know. And we all have demons and everything. We have positive and positive Damians, right? Damians, and we have cockadamians, you know, which are considered the dark demons that we still have to go ahead and embrace. But some of us might have, you know, as it was in the story, he was born with many demons, and he wanted to go ahead and take the demons up out of him. You know, they went to him because they couldn't. He was cutting himself and so forth. You know, this is how the story went anyway. And so he asked him to go ahead and take the demons out of him. So he called him by his name. He said, what is your name? And he said, my name is Legion. Legions, you know, for we are many, as we have many religions. Okay? And these legions, religion itself actually means to tie to something. You know, the word itself means to be tied to something, a thought, belief, system, so forth, like that, in a general sense. And so maybe even like a lot of us have broken away from a lot of these religions as we released all of these, meaning let go. Some of us take them back up, you know, and at the same time, there's good and bad in all of them. So to go ahead and be your own alchemist, to search out, like it tells us to do in Job 8:8, though, since you know of everything inside of this book, then search out their fathers, because that's the separation right there. And it's still going to be darkness, even within ourselves, that we still have to. So, even with whether it be in the individual and or slash a person, a fanatic, you know, leftist or rightist fanatic, we're going to have these battles just like the boy did, you know. And so after he went ahead and hurt, his name was Legion. He took Legion out of the boy and put him into a pig. Threw him to a herd of pigs, and the pigs went and drowned themselves where in Pisces in the water, you know. And I say that in a sense because it was on the earth. It wasn't a, not to say see we have this is we're breathing water right now. This is more cancerian water and everything that we're breathing right now. You know, because everything is really water. We're just in different forms. And so, yeah, and to the pig and so forth. And then we go over to China. Hey, who's over there? The pig is the smartest. The pig is smart. You know. So, matter of fact, even inside of the religions we have over here in the Torah, we have that of do not eat pork. Okay, uh, the New Testament was written first, and the Old Testament was written second. So we could see how things are tied and everything together. Yet all of it still serves a purpose and everything because for me myself, I stopped eating meat. I eat it every once in a while, every once in a blue moon, you know. But I have a clearer mind, and my body is clear, and it's able to go up and down. When I don't necessarily eat a whole lot of meat, and for all the reasons that we know. Okay. And not to knock it off, not to say anything bad for those who enjoy it, balance it, inside of their body. Hey, to each his own. Everybody has their own path, mental, physical, and desires. So fulfill them. Just be, just like I said, just be mindful. Just be mindful and everything. And so, yeah, all of these, uh, and then also, I think it was also mentioned inside of the Quran. Not not to eat the pig. At the same time, we go over to Hawaii, hey, or Mexico and everything. The border, even us right now. Us right here, we chitlins. A lot of people still love chitlins. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Louisiana, Alabama, South and everything, chitlins and everything. You know what I'm saying? Pork rib. My ex-wife, she loved it. I didn't stop her from it. You know, I would say slow down. But hey, to each his own. You know, and so again, these are things, legions or religions, or religion itself, in the essence of the word. These are things that we tie ourselves to, or we were even brought up in, and we don't necessarily know that we're tied to it, or yeah, we just simply don't know these things. We simply don't know these things. There's a lot of people who just simply don't know, believe it or not. I mean, as you already know. So all of these things. The main thing that really got me was how every religion does have the sun inside of it. So including even that of Lemuria. Okay, because just like the same name of Amun Ra as the sun deity of Egypt. Okay, this is also the deity who ruled in Lemuria. You know, which the city is supposedly, sunk to the sea. Okay, but I totally believe it's just out the coast here between Hawaii and Cali. You know, uh, up and down, up and down. It's still it's pretty much here. Move, move. You know. Uh, so I just wanted to go ahead and drop that in there, especially the main thing is the sun being green. The sun being green, producing that growth and everything, producing that growth, or giving it the vitamins to where it could grow even right now at night, you know, grow at night. Not that it's not growing during the day, but the vibration is able, we have frequencies that's going through the day that even restricts the trees from growing, you know, especially here around in the city and everything. I'm sure it's still going doing its thing in non-rural in the rural areas, but in the cities, every we're all kind of restricted with all the different frequencies that's going around here. Even our bodies are affected by it. So uh, why wouldn't trees be, right? You know, so think green, basically. Think green. Think green on that. You know, and know that we are surrounded by many more suns. Like our soul is our soul, and our backbone. That we have a backbone to make sure we do what we put in our mind to do, and then the two soles of our feet to go ahead and carry us to do that and everything. Okay, uh, and be fruitful and multiply. To be fruitful and multiply, cultivating our own gardens, and even leaving the corners, or taking, hey, it's like a tithe, you know, to those who do not necessarily have uh, even what we have, you know. So just be mindful at all times, and thankful, grateful, and in humility. Even though, hey, I get sideways, you get side, we all get sideways sometimes, and blind, you know, to just seeing right, just seeing outside and even on the inside. And those things we see outside, we can close our eyes. Don't necessarily stop us from seeing it. Don't go out past down the street. Doesn't necessarily stop us from hearing it. You know. But I want to share this one with you too. Somebody always hears. Okay, whether we speak it or not. And I'm share this one with you. One living in Vegas, and me and my first wife were arguing, and I had got a job. I was at a IHOP pancake house, and was way across. It was way across the bridge and everything. Uh, on the other side, of Vegas. I can't remember the streets right now, but we used to live down pretty close to downtown. But it was way on the other side, and I had to be there early in the morning. And so, in order for me to get there, I had to get up about 3 hours early and start walking. And so I got up 3 hours early and started walking and everything. And out of the blue, out of night, I'm walking down the street, and the car is coming the other way, you know, the opposite direction. He flips a U-turn, pulls up, the door pops open, and all I hear is the music. Doom, 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 Fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me home. This was the music playing and everything. He said, "Get in." And then I got in and he turned the music up and he just took off, you know? And I'm tripping right now because I didn't tell him where I was going, where I needed to go. And the only way I knew where to get there was go straight. I didn't know how to, cut streets to make it get up there and make it shorter and everything. I didn't know Vegas like that. So I didn't say anything, but I was puzzled like a mug, and I could jump out, but I had a calm. It was a calm still, whether it be the music and this whole person, his aura. I wouldn't have got in either if I felt his aura was off. And so before I know it, the song it seemed like it like ended right when we got there, but it was playing the whole time. He hit it again, played it the whole time, and right when I got there and everything. And so he pulled up in the parking lot, and I was like, "Wow, how did you know I need to get here?" And then he pulls up, takes out his wallet, and he had a wad of hundreds, and he gives me 100, and I jumped up inside in my spirit. I was like, "Oh shit, really? Oh!" And then he said, "Go get change." Okay, and so I went to go get change, and then he peels off and gives me $10 and a Bible verse. God, I can't remember the verse to this day. But a point in even sharing that story is like vibrations. No matter what, somebody is listening. And your angels, are there with you. Even as a matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you that on a real. At that point in time, I was even smoking a little crack at the time. And that $10 was a test if I was gonna get crack or I was gonna utilize it, for whatever I needed for. And I passed that test though. I passed that test, you know. But it was like surreal. It was surreal. And and surreal is like again, like underneath. So that's deep waters again. It's not just the surface waters, that's deep waters again. You know? So if we need to go ahead and be that salmon and swim upstream to get away from a lot of the stuff. Swim upstream to get away from a lot of this BS, you know. All the bickering back and forth. It's I mean, I see it, I get it, I understand whether it be high level bickering or low level bickering. I get it, I get it. But ain't y'all tired? Since we're in LA, can't we all just get along? Oh shit, crazy as a mug. Oh my goodness. Anyways, I just wanted to leave that with you guys to sit with yourself with it, pass it on, or or do whatever you want to do with it. Hey, but be fruitful and multiply. All right. Thank you so much, and we shall talk with you. I did see CC on the last one right now. Whenever I feel like it. All right, ciao, ciao.